This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 894, Reborn to be Wild. Enjoy. Alright, but the most interesting thing. You complete a Wilderness Slayer task from Mandrith, and you're awarded with a Wilderness Slayer chest, which has a really interesting drop table, including items that were previously only available from the Bounty Hunter game mode, including the Tier 87 weapons like Annihilation and Decimation, which sell for quite a bit, and I think Decimation is the one that has an interesting special attack that people use from time to time. I think that's the one. But those are on that list. Also on that list is the first source of Necronium salvages in the game. A huge spiky Necronium salvage, Alx, for 400k. Also, we have Soul Reaper refreshes and Death Touch darts.
And honestly, I have a little bit of a question here, and this is more of a philosophical question, perhaps. Is why is there a need to add these items to this chest? Like, obviously, this chest already has a source of, unique drops like the Death Touch dart and the Wilderness items, and sure, there will be rare drops, and the Necronium can fill in that the more uncommon range, I guess, of drops.
Rather than dropping GP, it drops something you have to elk or yep.
But why why bump it up yet another tier? Why include Necronium? Because we are running out of salvage metals very quickly at this.
Yeah, because then you just got Bane and the Animicus left.
Exactly, and it feels to me that the Wilderness update is not substantial enough to really warrant this step up. Like, sure, it's a big deal, but let's also not pretend that this is, it doesn't feel like this is necessarily the highest tier Slayer content in the game right now. Is it? Like, we have so much stuff that is limited already to, 110 plus Slayer. The Wilderness feels more, horizontal in a sense, and then we're adding the highest tier of salvage as loot to it.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, most everything in this Wilderness Mandrith task list is 95 plus Slayer. You have the Abyssal Demons at 85, you have the Strike Worms at 93 and 94, but everything else is 95 plus. And that's really only the Abyssal Beasts and the Dragons. Everything else does not have a Slayer level. Well, Dark Beast.
Sure, yeah, exactly. So sure, it is pretty high level content.
Yeah.
Like, I won't admit that. But at the same time, let's not pretend that at this point level 95 Slayer is the highest tier there is, because it goes all the way up to 120. Right.
And
there's content now.
Yeah. Just adding Orichalcum to this drop table would have probably been more than enough.
Exactly. Like, there's higher level content out there for Slayer specifically that's now going to give worse drops than the Wildy.
Isn't that what they wanted, though? They wanted this to be the most lucrative source of Slayer XP and profit?
Yeah, sure, but it already is the most lucrative source of Slayer XP, right?
Right,
you already do more damage.
Yeah, okay, fair.
You already do more damage if your threat level is high, so you're going to kill faster. I guess all these monsters still drop their normal loot. So, why are we making something that is already best in the game even better? And I'm fine that the Wilderness Slayer chest exists, but let's not pretend that every single monster needs to cause there to be a drop in that chest, because it's going to have its own drop. This is just for your little extras.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's one or two of these salvages.
Oh, sure. I'm not going to say it's massive, but why not take a lower tier that will just do the trick, so that when we have like a new big boss coming out in a few months, we can add Necronium salvage and make that be a big deal for that boss.
Right.
Agreed. Yeah, Orichalcum would have been more than enough here. I know that they don't like to drop straight gold anymore. They want things that you sort of have to elk or sell. But no, I didn't see much sense in adding Necronium to this level.
Right, but let's just also take a look at this chest. Aside from the big ticket items of the wilderness weapons, what on here is this is a wonderful item. I'm happy that I got it. The Trail Begone items, the volcanic protection, are nice to have, but they're not something you're going to jump up and down about. Soul Reaper refreshes,
also
Death Touch darts.
Like the threat level items, you want to not use them, right? If you're doing Slayer.
Exactly.
So like it if you are doing Slayer, you want to have a high threat level because then you get more points and more XP, but you're going to get items that reduce your threat level. And who is going to need
skilling
who is
out
going to
there?
Yeah, if you're skilling out there. So now we have Slayer people selling their loot to skillers. That's the wrong way around, right? Like, isn't it so that skillers make like farmy stuff and green stuff and potions? That's the word I was looking for. Potions and food and armor and all that stuff for combaters to use, because combat, is more of a closed ecosystem. And now we're starting to just the more I think about it, this Slayer chest makes no sense whatsoever.
I think they just wanted a little cherry on the top, honestly.
Yeah, but like if you think about the impacts, if you think about this in the wider context, maybe I'm missing something. I will happily admit that, because contrary to popularly believe, I'm not actually a JMod, and I don't actually know what the reasoning is for all this. But
contrary to popular belief,
it seems that if somebody had seriously thought about what should be dropped here and how do you want the wider ecosystem to work with items being sold and bought by different categories of players, this thing doesn't really hold up to scrutiny.
I mean, I like things like the Soul Reaper refresh and the Death Touch dart because it brings in something that's sort of a treasure hunter item that you can actually earn in game now. But yeah, I sort of see what you mean on the on those other items.
Yeah, I guess at least the Soul Reaper refresh makes a lot of sense, because if you're out there killing monsters, you're pretty likely to also be killing other monsters, right? I mean, I'm of two minds of this.
Like, it's interesting, but at the same point, it's a cherry on top, and you have your question of why.
No, but like things like the darts, right? Like, the darts first came into the game as part of the sweepstake, wasn't it? In game,
yes,
where you could get like all 3 checkers and get them. Like, they were a huge deal right now. Back then, right now they're not. And they were still being handed out as part of Twitch Prime packages, all that stuff. And then the merchant came, and now they're just drops. And I don't know. It makes me kind of sad that things like double XP, but also Death Touch darts apparently are becoming such a normal thing to have, and normal thing to have as drops. And how are you ever going to top that with new exciting items without making them super, super powerful? Like, before we know it, we'll get,
But you're forgetting that you have tier 87 weapons on this list.
That's what I like, that the weapons are brilliant.
You don't hear me having a problem with that.
Yeah.
Right? Because at least that's sort of part of the game ecosystem already. But we're taking, like, I've always sort of seen the treasure hunter and MTX items and all those promotions as almost sort of a separate category of items, right? They're untradeable, they're yours, they are special bonuses for your account. It's a bit like knowledge bombs and XP boosts. Like, that all belongs to a category of items that's like buffs.
Yeah, but I mean, again, things like the Death Touch starts maybe, but things like Soul Reaper Refresh, where you can get an extra task, it'd be great to earn something like that and not have to sit there and go, oh, okay, that's on Treasure Hunter, so I've got to spend, $5 and buy some keys or whatever keys cost you, and do it that way. I can actually go do my tasks out there and have a chance at getting a Soul Reaper Refresh.
The Soul Reaper Refresh is the one I have the least problem with as well.
Yeah,
like that's fine.
That's a good one.
That's in line with the activity refresh tokens you can get left and right.
But as you said, Death Touch. I like earning the Death Touch. I've got 70 in my bank. I'm waiting until I get 100, and I'm just going to go camp. I think it's
Ambassador.
The Ambassador, I'm just going to go and camp him and see how I go. But then again, that's giving me a chance at some of the best drops in game for really no risk. So I sort of see what you mean there with bringing these into game and making them common. Does it devalue other things? Fair point.
Yeah, and
it's a hard topic, and there might not be one right answer. But to me, I feel Death Touch darts have now, as of this update,
they've lost their wow factor.
They have lost that special aura they had around them because they were special. You had gotten them from a certain promotion, and that's now like next thing they're tradable on the GE, right?
I don't think they'll go that far.
Never. No, I hope they'd never do that.
And, I think the interesting question to ask at the end of the day about this is that if it's not the task list, if it's not the extra Slayer points, is it this wilderness reward chest that might encourage somebody to do a Slayer task in the wilderness? I think that's an interesting question we can ask the community on that. Because that might be the deal breaker, the deal maker for some people. You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.